we're live. It doesn't show anything. Oh, I didn't have. There we go. Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. It's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Welcome. This week we're going to review some recent specialty gas equipment tech support questions. And the first question is for Corey. Mass flow controllers for 500. Is the 829 series mass flow controller clean for oxygen service? Example, ASTM G93 or similar.
This is our 829 flow controller. It does exactly what the name suggests. It's a flow controller, so it can control how much flow you want from your system. And yes, it is clean to ASTM G93 Type 1, Test 1, Type 2, Test 1 and 2, and also complies to CGA 4.1. So yes. And I would like to add that I don't want to say all of our products because I'm sure there might be one or two maybe, but almost all of our products are clean to oxygen that we sell.
Yeah, good. Next question for Corey. I'm needing to place a check valve between a CJ 350 cylinder and a regulator. I found the flex hose with check valves, but I was wanting a way to easily accomplish this without having to modify the existing regulator. Do you have any solutions for this?
Yes, we do. Many of our CGAs that we sell also come with a CGA with an integral check valve included. For this case, it would be our part number SEQ350 CV4BP if you want the brass plated, or you change it to SS on the end if you want the stainless steel. And they are sold on our website as well.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, this question's for me. Hi, could you send me a data sheet for the SEQ3203 regulator? I didn't see any dimensions online. Thank you. Yes, we have drawings of many of our regulators, typically our most popular regulators. Online, you can find them in our store.mathesongas.com in the Help Center. You can also find a drawing at the bottom of the page, the product page for that regulator. That would be the 3200 series regulator. Or you can call or email us and we'll send you the drawing.
And many of them also, we have step drawings as well in case you're going to put them into a CAD formation as well.
Yeah, it's good. Good. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of funny, but we had a custom delivery panel we were making for somebody, and they were asking and we're going to use the 3060 series regulator as a line regulator. And he asked what the minimum delivery pressure for the 3064 SA is. Now the 3064, this is our high pressure, very high, I guess we call it very high pressure because we have high pressure regulators. Now it's a very high delivery pressure regulator. These are what we can use for typically your 6,000 PSI gases, but we can put them in panels. Well, it's kind of heavy gas, a heavy regulator. And yeah, it's rated for those 6,000 PSI cylinders. There's different styles we have. And the delivery pressure range on this starts out at 200 PSI up to 4,000 PSI for the 3064 SA. And that brings up a couple points. One is that when you size up a regulator, you should get one that's in your delivery pressure range. You're always going to have issues if you're at the lower end of the pressure range for the regulators for a couple reasons. One is your gauge that you're using on the regulator. On the lower end of the regulator, it's typically plus or minus 3% of the full scale value. So with here, you've got you have a 5,000 PSI regulator on there. So at the bottom end of this regulator, you're plus or minus 150 PSI. So that's part of it. You could think you're dialing it into 100 PSI, but it might be 250 and it might be 50. The other part is with regulators, it has to do with the pitch of the screw. Is that trying to dial in by turning the knob, it can be very hard to get on the lower end because you're at the very end of it, and you're trying to get a very low pressure, and just moving a knob just a little bit can affect it.
Keep that one for me for the next question.
Oh, okay. Okay, next question for Corey. I am looking for a high purity dual stage regulator for air. Do you have a regulator with delivery pressure higher than 500 psi? The 3120A only has a 500 psi delivery pressure, but our target pressure is around 600 psi.
Unfortunately, we do not. A dual stage regulator, in case you're unfamiliar with them, is a regulator that has pretty much two regulators inside. The problem with a single stage regulator sometimes is that when the cylinder pressure gets lower, the outlet pressure, the delivery pressure will slowly raise up, and so you'll have to compensate by adjusting it. But with a dual stage regulator, it delivers constant pressure to the first stage delivers constant pressure to the second stage, thus getting rid of that problem. In this case, we don't have one that goes above 500 psig, but you could, and similar to the question you just had, if you want to go with a lower delivery pressure and get it closer, you could attach another regulator to this.
On the other side.
Oh yeah, on the other side. Sorry, I'm picturing I'm looking at it like this, but it's backwards. So you can attach a regulator, another single stage regulator on this side. So in this case, it would be two or 30-30 regulators. The first one you can set to say 800 or 900 psig, and then the second you could set to the 600 psig that you want, and it'll be in effect a dual stage regulator, which again would work for this as well. If you have a very high pressure, want to go to a low pressure, add another regulator to it.
One added point on this is the fact that delivery pressure of this regulator, this one is 4,000 psi, and the regulator, if you put another regulator downstream, it might only be rated to 3,000 psi inlet. So you should put a relief valve between them, an interstage relief valve between them, in case the first regulator, the pressure goes up too high. Then you're not destroying your downstream regulator.
In fact, we just this past week designed a regulator system that was just that. It was a 30-30 regulator and another regulator, attached it with a bushing, put an interstage relief valve on it, and that's what the customer wanted. So that's what we created for them.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. It's a different set of regulators. This one is for me. The customer is looking for a regulator that can flow 154 standard cubic feet a minute of nitrogen gas and reduce the pressure from 2460 to a psi, that's a full cylinder, to 100 psi. Well, we don't have anything for those flow ranges. We do for our high flow regulators, you have really kind of two choices to choose from. We've got the 3200 series, and this comes in brass and stainless steel, and it's got a 1.0 CSV, and half-inch outlet, half-inch inlet. We bush it down so you can put a CJ fitting in, or they're often used as line regulators. So that's one option for your high flow. The other option is our LPHF regulator. It's our Laser Pro. It's only available in brass. It's kind of heavy, and it's kind of like, what the heck is all this stuff going on here? It's kind of big. They call this a dome assist regulator. These are used for laser applications that need high flow, and this can probably do about 100 CFM, and it keeps with the dome assist, it has like almost no creep on it. So it's a half-inch inlet, a half-inch outlet. This is the inlet, that's the outlet. We push it down for the cylinders. You can use it as a line regulator. And then the bonnet's threaded, so you can get a bracket to mount it. If you need real stable delivery pressure at high flows, this is the way to go. It's only available in brass. This one, the 3200, has a huge droop factor. For high flow, you get that a lot. So it's really our
and in this case, the customer decided to do parallel lines. So they decided to flow two lines.
Oh, really? Okay.
In order to achieve their flow rate, which is also another option.
Yeah. Got We got gas cabinets for 200. This question, and are the 1170 series gas cabinets NFPA rated? No, I'm sorry, we couldn't. Our gas cabinet's a little too big to carry on set. But they are. We get this question every now and then, and they are not. It's because the NFPA rated cabinets are cabinets where you want to protect what's inside from a fire. So you use it for flammable liquids and stuff. You might see them around in different industrial places. They store their flammable liquids in there. So if there's a fire, and there's fire ratings for these cabinets and how long they sustain a fire outside. Our gas cabinets are kind of the opposite of that. NFPA rated cabinets protect the inside from the outside. Our cabinets are for typically toxic corrosive gases. They protect the outside from what's inside the cabinet. So they're not NFPA rated, but they are rated to UFC Article 80. So they're great cabinets. Okay, last question, and I didn't even write it down. I just got some scribble notes. So this is, what's the last question, Corey?
So our customer had a PG-1000 flow meter, which is an acrylic-bodied flow meter with a glass tube inserted in the middle of it, and they were using it for ozone, which is O3. And they were noticing that it was kind of breaking down and corroding a little bit, the acrylic part of it. And so the customer was asking, is the acrylic a wetted part of the rotometer? And initially, when you look at the rotometer, it doesn't look like the acrylic would be touched because the glass tube is inserted inside the rotometer. Unfortunately, it is. And when it comes to ozone, prolonged exposure to high concentrations of ozone will break down acrylic. And in this case, the customer could not keep using the product. And we did not have a similar sized product because they had their system for that size rotometer. And unfortunately, we didn't have another product to be suitable for their needs.
Yeah, the sizing was a big issue, but if you wanted to go, if you didn't have a sizing issue, then you'd go with like a FM 1000. Yes. That's a short meter, direct read scale, and that would work great. So that's all the questions we have for this week. Thank you for watching, and please tune in next week at 10 a.m. East Coast time for the Bill and Corey Show. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.